Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. My name is Dr. Ray. I am your tour guide on this lovely journey on pet food nutrition. I'm glad you're here. If you have been with me through all these videos, thank you for coming back. And if you're new, please like and subscribe. Join the family. We have a great time. We have some lively discussions in the comment section. And so we have a great bunch of people here, and we'd love for you to join the conversation. I usually review things that you guys ask me to review, and you guys leave me comments in the description box. I actually had one person send me a package, which I'm really excited about, and we're going to be filming a video using her package really soon. But today I kind of wanted to do something fun for myself. And so I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with AI and all the AI things that are out there now. So like Chat GPT, all these things where you can basically ask an AI a question, and then they will give you, an answer. So I thought today I would ask AI to pick my cat food. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I am going to use for this particular purpose Google's AI, which is called Bard. And so you can do Bard too if you want. I don't know how I feel about AI. I feel like it's like Skynet and the Terminator, or like I don't know, the AI robot and like that lady, that cube robot lady and all that stuff kind of freak me out. But I think we're safe just researching cat food. So let's see what the AI has to say about cat food. Now, things to remember about AI, and this is going to be interesting to see what happens. The AI gleans its information, from my understanding, from the internet. And so as you all know, you can find pretty much every opinion on the internet, and I don't think that the AI has the ability to differentiate between the information that is true or good sources and the information that is not true or bad sources. And I think that's an interesting thing for us to all think about when we use the internet as a resource. And I get this a lot in my practice. Pretty much anybody can say whatever they want on the internet, and it is what it is. We have to use our brain. And so that's why I kind of came up with the pet food scoring system, so we can have a subjective way, devoid of our emotions, to evaluate some of these foods. So it's going to be interesting to see what Bard has to say here. What is the best cat food? Oops, Kate. Cat food for an adult cat? Simple, right? Thinking. Okay. It says the best cat food in adult is a matter of personal preference and individual needs. I agree with that. But there are some general guidelines that can help you choose a high quality food that will meet your cat's nutritional requirements. I think that is excellent advice. Here are some things to look for. Okay. A high quality protein. Cats are carnivores. They need a diet high in animal protein. Look for a food that lists meats as the first ingredient. Okay. Couple things here. Yes, cats are obligate carnivores. That is true. They need a diet high in animal protein. That is true. But this is the important thing to remember. There is a reference range that is appropriate. So yes, cats do require a higher protein level, let's say, than dogs, but they do not need higher than their actual requirement. And so let's pull that up here. So an adult cat, we want between 30 and 45. If you've watched these videos, and I do a lot of videos on dogs, you will see dogs, it's closer to 30. So cats, yes, cats need a higher protein level than, let's say, dogs, but they don't need higher than what they actually require. So this is true. It's not false. Look for a food that lists meat as a first ingredient. I absolutely know Bard collected this from the internet, because this is something that is all over the internet, and it may have at one time been true. But now the ingredient list is kind of like, They know that people are doing that, and so pet food companies go above and beyond to manipulate the ingredient list to put that meat as a first ingredient, and they do that by very deceptive ways. So I would say caution on doing that, looking for meat as a first ingredient. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I am saying I wouldn't put a lot of time or effort or value in that statement. But that is definitely something Bard found on the internet. Limited carbohydrates. that can be true. There are some studies that are showing that lower carbohydrates may be good for cats that are diabetic. I don't know how you're going to, some companies do list the carbohydrates, some don't, so that is a little bit of a harder thing to ascertain. So yes, that's true. Typically, if we have a cat that's diabetic, feeding them a canned food is really the best thing to do. There are a lot of studies that show that. So yeah. Essential fatty acids, cats need essential fatty acids like omega-3s and omega-6. Look for a food that contains these. Okay, that's fine. Prebiotics and probiotics are beneficial for gut health. Look for a food that contains these ingredients. Again, I don't think that it's a bad thing. I don't know that it's necessarily a good thing, a thing that you need. Not that it's a good thing. It is a good thing, but I don't think it's a thing that you necessarily need to focus on. Because prebiotics and probiotics, they're not regulated. They can say they put them in there. They may not necessarily be in there. So yeah, there is some studies that show that prebiotics and probiotics are important. The quality, though, of those is really important. And so I'm not sure how you'd be able to evaluate necessarily quality. Look for no artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. I used to harp on some of my earlier videos about the artificial colors. The reason why I harp on the artificial colors isn't that I think that they're necessarily detrimental to your pet. I think that it's just a marketing thing, and if they put all those colors in there, I know they care more about marketing than they care about nutrition, because there's no other reason to put them in there than to draw you in. So to me, it's a warning sign for that reason. So that was their tips. Now, I will mention, this is something Bard did not say in one of his tips. Look for a food, and this is my tips. So if Bard is listening, which they're always listening, so maybe Bard is listening now and this will change in the future. You need to look for a food that is the AFCO correct life stage. You need to look for a food that is in the correct parameters of the guaranteed analysis, that the nutrients are there. Those to me are the big things. Bard didn't list that, so maybe if he's listening, we'll get that on there. Let's keep going. Let's see what he actually recommends, because that's what I asked, right? I asked what was the best. Here are some of the best cat foods for adults according to veterinarians and pet experts. Hill Science Diet Adult Chicken Recipe. Purina ProPlan Focus Adult Chicken and Rice Formula, Wellness Complete Health Adult Dry Salmon Recipe, Purina Beyond Simply Grain-Free White Meat Chicken and Egg Recipe, Merrick Perfect Bistro Real Chicken and Brown Rice Recipe. And then you can see here how they link where you can go and find these foods. Okay, so these are just a few of the many great cat foods on the market. Talk to your veterinarian to get their recommendation for the best food for your individual cat. I think that's excellent advice. I think, your veterinarian is an excellent resource for you. When people come into my clinic and, they feel bad, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that my dog had, I don't know, something crazy like, the pupils weren't exactly symmetrical. I feel so bad. How did I not catch that? Well, that's not your job. Your job is to know your pet. Your job is to know when there's something off on your pet. It's my job to know, as a veterinarian, what that is. And so we never feel bad when you come in and you have questions. That's what we're here for. We don't expect you to know everything. You didn't go to veterinary school. You don't have 8 years of education in this or more, if you go to see a specialist. So always talk to us. We always appreciate it. And I talk about food all the time. It's one of the number one questions I get in my practice, and it's one of the number one reasons why I started this channel, because, it's important. In addition to choosing a high quality cat food, it's important to feed your cat the right amount of food. Absolutely, Bard. That is 100% true. The amount of food your cat needs will depend on their age, weight, activity level, and health status. Absolutely right. And your veterinarian can help you determine the right amount of food to feed your cat. Absolutely. People come in all the time and tell me what food they feed, and I calculate the resting energy requirement. You can do it too. You can use this chart right here, and you can look it up, or you can calculate it using this formula. And you can do it too, but we're happy to do it for you as well. It's also important to provide your cat with fresh, clean water at all time. I think that goes without saying, but thank you, Bard, for reminding us. By following these guidelines, you can help your cat live a long and healthy life. So Bard gave us a lot of options. So we've got the adult 1 to 6 on the science diet, the ProPlan, the wellness, the Beyond, and the Merrick. Let's pick one. Should we pick one? I'm going to pick I'm gonna see if it is available, if what we need is on the website. So usually, and I did this totally, I did not look at this beforehand, so I did not know what Bard was gonna recommend. So usually when I pick a food to review, or you guys, I don't usually pick them, you guys usually recommend them. When that happens, I usually email the company and I get the information that we need. We don't have that option here today. So I know that Science Diet, because I've reviewed some of their foods before, has that information that we need on their website. I don't know about the other ones. So the next one they recommended was Purina ProPlan Focus Adult Chicken and Rice Formula. So I'm gonna go and see if they have that information there. If they don't, I might just use the minimums and maximums. You know, I might use those in this situation. See, they list the minimums and maximums, but really we like to have the exact numbers. The other thing that they don't a lot of times list here, is the calcium and the phosphorus. So just give me a moment. Oh, should we ask Bard? That would be interesting. We should ask Bard. I wonder if Bard can get this information. I wonder how reliable it would be if we asked Bard for this information. This would be a game changer for me, because if Bard can do this, then I don't have to spend all the time I spend going back and forth emailing, calling these companies. Oh, let's do it. The calcium level in the, no, it was the one that, it was the, oh no, that's the right one. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Come on, Bard. Oh my gosh, this is a game changer. Bard's gonna put me out of a YouTube job. Is you guys can just ask Bard these questions and then you won't ask me. Tell me you won't do that. You guys will still hang out with me, right? Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is so useful. I wish it would tell us where this information came from. Okay. Let's do it, guys. Let's do the review. And they do list the carbohydrates there. Okay. Awesome. All right, we're gonna do it. All right, front of the package, Purina ProPlan. Listed on the front of the package. It's a pretty standard package for the ProPlan. It's usually got the animal on the top and then the black label on the bottom. It's the indoor hairball formula. And the term, indoor hairball, sensitive skin, happy coat, all that stuff. It really means nothing. There's no legal definition to that. And there really is zero. That means nothing. So they can put whatever they want there. It is a salmon and rice formula. The word formula does have a meaning. I can't remember off the top of my head what that means, but I'll put it. We'll do a screenshot or something, and we'll put that in there. We probably could ask Bard, but we're not going to do that. This video is already getting pretty long. Okay. All right, let's use the pet food scoring system and the information that Bard gave us to evaluate this. 10 points to be had, and we'll go through what you get the points for as we go through them. I totally made the system up. It's just to keep things cohesive and to make sure that we don't invest too much emotional, we're devoid of that. We're just sticking to the substance here when we use this point scoring system. So, okay, ingredient list is the first thing. And so for the ingredient list, it just needs to be not grain-free and not raw. This is going to get 2 points for this. It is not grain-free and it is not raw. We've got some salmon in there, brewer's rice, corn gluten meal, chicken meal. So there's a couple different things in here. Animal fat, there's all different stuff in there, and you can read through that if you want. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that because I already explained that earlier about the ingredient list, so we're just not going to continue to harp on that. So they are going to get 2 points there. Let's find the AFCO statement. All right, here it is. There's 2 points to be had here. Animal feeding test, 1 point because it is feeding child. Using AFCO, substantiate that the ProPlan Focus provides complete and balanced nutrition for adult maintenance of cats. 2 points there. Is feeding child, which is awesome. They fed this food. They know what it does. They did the research. They took the time. They spent the extra money. And it's for adult maintenance. So it's saying it's for adults. It is for adults. They're not lumping it in and just doing the, all life stage thing, which is just like really lazy. So 2 points there. So far so good. We're up to 4 points. Let's go ahead and do the that guaranteed analysis based on what Bard told us. Uh-oh, I lost it. Here is our information on the cat from Small Animal Clinical Nutrition textbook. So these are the standards that we are going to be using today. Calcium is the first thing on their list. It's at 1.3. Cats ideally should be between 0.6 and 1, so it is a little bit excessive on the calcium. Phosphorus at 0.8, it's on point with the phosphorus. So they lose a point there for the calcium, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Fat, 17%. The fat should be between 10 and 30, so we're good there. The protein at 30% is on the low end of the protein level, and that's actually fine. We already talked about over-supplementing protein not necessarily being a good thing, so that's fine. Fiber, they're not listing the fiber. It's supposed to be less than 5. Let's go to the Purina guaranteed analysis and see what the fiber is. Maximum is 4.8, so we're fine on the fiber. For a side note here, the vitamin E is 400 international units. That's very good for vitamin E. A lot of companies put vitamin E as just a wimpy number, but 400 actually is really good. There's no points for that, but just letting you guys know. And the taurine at 0.15%. Taurine is an essential amino acid for cats. They have to have it. They have a very specific requirement for that, and that specific requirement is 0.1%. So at 0.15, that's very good. So they do lose a point. They only lose 1 point. They lose a point for the calcium. And you know that actually is important. It is a little bit off, but the calcium is important. And the reason being is cats, if you're not familiar with this, as cats age, their kidneys are usually one of the first things to go. So cats over the age of 7, kidney disease is pretty much always on the differential for a cat that's feeling ill because they're just very prone to it. And so when you have excess minerals and excess protein for that matter, it does exacerbate, it exacerbates that. So ideally we would like the minerals to be in the reference range. So they are losing a point for the calcium, and that's an important one. But they get 4 out of the 5. And so we're up to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've only lost 1 point for the calcium so far. Let's get into the feeding guide. And it's very nice. They're telling you about calorie reduction if you have a obese cat, and they're giving you kind of an option for that, and then they're giving you this here. So we're going to use the chart with the resting energy requirement already calculated for us. So we don't have to do that today. I think 5 to 9, this is pretty typical for a cat, especially a female. 5 to 9 pounds is usually a nice lean ideal for me. 10 to 14, when cats start getting into the teens, I start getting worried unless they just have a bone structure. But most domestic long hair, short haired cats are pretty similar bone structure. So I like to stay closer to like that 10 range. Maybe we'll do 10. Let's do 10. They're saying for 10 pounds, it's half a cup. And it's 100, let's see, where's the calories per cup? 518 calories per cup. So let's pull up our chart here, zoom in on it for you. So we need 218 calories for the obese prone. 218 calories. Most cats are around 200 calories. That is kind of a way to cheat and do it, but that does, I usually use that when I'm in a pinch, 200 calories. So they said 518, half a cup, 259. That's pretty close. That's pretty close for the obese prone. And they're saying, actually, that's pretty interesting. It's exactly the same. Weight maintenance and calorie reduction. They're a little bit, actually, no, they're different. Sorry. Don't listen to me. They're a little bit different. Okay. So I'm going to give them a point for that. That's pretty close. So wow, this is a good one. This is a good one, guys. Thank you, Bard. This is a good one. Thank you for the recommendation. I said you guys don't need me anymore. It's going to get, was that 9 points? I think that was 9 points. So they got 2 points. I'm going to run through it really quick. They got 2 points for the ingredient list. They got 4 points for the guaranteed analysis. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that took us up to 6. 1 point for the feeding guide. That takes up to 7. 2 points for the AFCO statement. 9. That is, wow. 9 is very good. 9 is one of the highest scoring ones that we have had yet. So great option for a cat, I think. And so what did we learn today? We learned that the Purina ProPlan Focus Adult Indoor Hairball it's a really long name, salmon and rice, is a very good option. Oh, by the way, it's $30.80 for a 7-pound bag. So if you're wondering, that's what it costs. You can usually find Purina ProPlan like anywhere. I've seen it at Tractor Supply. You can get it at, on Chewy, and obviously you can buy it from their website as well. So very readily available. So a really good option that's probably accessible to a lot of people. So yeah, what did we learn? We learned that this is a great food, and we learned that you can potentially use these AIs to help you, but you still have to use your brain because they are gathering this information from the internet. So it's important to ask the right question, and it's still important to use your brain and think it through. We're not going to go through any of these other foods, but if you want me to, leave me a comment below. I'd be happy to do it if you want me to use BARD in the future for some of this information. I wish I knew where they got this information, and if it was valid, it would be way easier than me calling the companies. So maybe I'll use that in the future. But anyway, I digress. I hope you guys enjoyed this video using AI to pick my cat food, and hope you guys will hang out again. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and we will hang out again real soon. Bye.